ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first of hopefully many TiC United podcasts. Yes, the first podcast from these here United Kingdom shores, across the Atlantic from the warm embrace of America's gun laws. Joining me, and hopefully for the rest of the podcast days, is Alice Moss, other staff writer for the Inner Circle Gaming Network.com. Alice, say hello to our lovely listeners.
Hi there.
Magnificent intro there. We have magnificent news from the world of video game, movies, and television. This week we're going to focus on superheroes. What a surprise. What a surprise.
Shocking.
Alice, what are we talking about this week?
Well, we have the Doctor Strange trailer, the Suicide Squad trailer. We can have a little bit of discussion about Zack Snyder, and then round it all off with talking about the new characters that are being introduced in Civil War, and who do we think is going to come out on top?
Do we have to talk about Zack Snyder?
Yeah, we have to talk about Zack Snyder.
Fine.
Yup. Well, you know, somebody's got to talk about it.
Yeah, well,
anyway.
Hopefully DC are talking to him about it.
Yeah. Well, you know, rumours. So yeah, but we should probably start with something we like, Doctor Strange trailer.
Yes, the Doctor Strange trailer, which came out a few days ago, I assume.
Yeah, about a week ago. And it got a very positive reception online. Didn't see many negative things about it. I wasn't
exactly thrilled about it when I first saw it.
Yeah.
However, having watched it a couple more times, it's really grown on me.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it kind of got the reception that the first Ant-Man trailer got, where it wasn't bad, but people were like, oh, well, Ant-Man's happening. Like, it wasn't, you know, overwhelming. But, I don't know, I think it did some things right. I mean, you know, that trailer kind of proved to me a lot of the things that I'd been worried about with Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. So, you know, for those of you who don't know, this trailer was a teaser trailer. It was kind of short. And mostly focused on Doctor Strange's origin. You didn't get much of what the movie will entail, but we definitely got a good view of, like, you know, who Doctor Strange is and yeah, his origin. Although I don't think the movie's an origin story, full on.
You know a little bit more about Doctor Strange than I do.
Yeah.
Who do you think Mads Mikkelsen is playing?
Oh man, everybody's speculating about that. To be honest, I don't know. I mean, we know he's playing the villain, although even some people are saying he's not playing the villain, so... unclear.
Mads Mikkelsen.
He always plays a villain.
Of course he always plays a villain. He played Hannibal in Hannibal, and Le Chiffre in arguably the best James Bond film. Yep.
I've never been a James Bond fan, but yeah, no.
But he was really
I don't know,
good.
I mean, like, Doctor Strange trailer, I mean, I feel like that trailer for me completely justified their choice of director, who otherwise, you know, I could have been a bit nervous about.
Who is the director again?
Scott Derrickson is directing. He is basically... I mean, he's mainly a horror movie director. And so when they said they were casting him for Doctor Strange, it was a bit like, you know, we got a horror director for, you know, what is really like, you know, a mystical, magic-y kind of movie. So it seems strange. But, like, there are a few shots in that trailer, you know, where you see Doctor Strange... lying out on the, you know, on his hospital bed, and, you know, the shot where you see the car in the heavy rain, you know, that are very kind of creepy and set the vibe.
Sorry, I can't resist a heavy rain quote whenever anyone says it. Just shout Jason in a crowded mall,
anyway.
So you gets it.
Yeah. I don't know, I mean, what kind of vibe did you get off that trailer? I definitely got a kind of, you know, creepy...
I got a distinct Inception vibe. I got a real Inception vibe, not just the folding cities, but also just the is it the Great One or the Ancient One?
Yeah, I think it's the Ancient One.
Tilda Swinton's
I think it's
character.
Tilda Swinton's character.
The ceiling, the pattern on there is very much the Inception sort of jaggedy pattern. But if it is anything like it, if it is like a superhero Inception movie,
yeah,
I've heard so down for that.
I've heard that Scott Derrickson kind of pitched it as Disney's Fantasia, like, but the Marvel Cinematic Universe kind of version, in that it's going to be, like, really weird and completely open the door for the Cinematic Universe to be, like, changed. In the way that, I think he's aiming for, like, in the way that Guardians of the Galaxy totally opened up the cosmic side of the Marvel Universe. So yeah, I think that's what he's kind of aiming for with Doctor Strange. I'm interested to see whether it will pan out. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's absolutely no way to predict any of the Marvel movies. No one had any hopes for Winter Soldier, and then the Russo brothers just knocked it out of the park.
Oh yeah, they fucking nailed the Winter Soldier. It was amazing. That was actually the I think it's that. because the thing is, I came to Marvel movies pretty late, so Winter Soldier was the first movie that I watched, like, aware that I was watching a Marvel movie, with the exception of Iron Man.
Yeah, of course.
And then the rest I kind of picked up along the way, and then, yeah, Winter Soldier was really, like, the best gateway movie to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And I think that and Guardians, and the fact that they came out in the same year, that's really quite amazing. I don't think people talk about just how good Marvel had it that year.
Oh, yeah.
With no Avengers, proper Avengers. Yeah. I've called, apart from Steve Rogers. But no one thought he was a good Avenger.
No. Well, they did have Black Widow. They did have Black Widow in that movie.
They have Black Widow.
Yeah.
Who still should have her own movie.
I have to admit, I'm not enthused about a Black Widow movie.
Oh, really?
I think she is a perfect supporting character. I just can't see her in a title role. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just that, for me, there are more interesting Marvel characters. I mean, like, I'm really excited to see a Doctor Strange movie, and, you know, I thought Ant-Man totally, like, it would runaway hit with Ant-Man. You know, yeah.
While we're talking about new Avengers and Marvel, I think we might as well just talk about the upcoming big hit, Civil War.
Civil War, yeah.
Yes, and the characters that we think are going to be best received by critics and audiences.
Best received new characters, yeah.
Yes, these are the new characters, so we're thinking Ant-Man, Scarlet Witch, Vision potentially as well.
Vision.
Even
Spider-Man,
of course. Spider-Man's going to get a glowing reception regardless. And I'm not just saying that because I used to go to school with the guy who plays him.
Yeah, that's outrageous. I hate you for that. Also, Tom Holland's kind of cute, so my opinion's biased too.
Yeah, well, I've only seen him in 2 movies, both of which involve disasters at sea.
Oh, did you see In the Heart of the Sea? That was the one with Tom Holland,
and I also saw The Impossible, about the...
Yeah, he was apparently really good in that. I'd heard he was really... I mean, definitely, I think with Spider-Man, they've cast talent. Like, he is very... I mean, he's a really talented younger actor, but I still think that they should have cast Asa Butterfield. Even though I'm perfectly happy with Tom Holland. Anyone who's checked his Instagram knows that he's, like, the perfect Spider-Man.
Yeah, he can do all the kicks and all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, he also does, there's some video, I think, on his Instagram of him on helium and stuff. A friend of mine sent it to me and was like, this guy's the perfect Spider-Man. I was like, yep, he is.
What do you think of there was a little backlash that it wasn't Miles Morales. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, the reason that it wasn't Miles Morales is Sony said, you know, it has to be Peter Parker, which, I don't know. I mean, from some of the reviews for Civil War are already out, as I'm sure some listeners will be aware. I mean, they've probably seen, it's running at, I think, 93% on Rotten Tomatoes at the moment. That's fluctuating, but basically, like, the reason they're not doing Miles Morales, like, he has been really well received, Tom Holland and Peter Parker. Really, really well received. And we've got 30 minutes of Spider-Man in Civil War. So, you know, we're
30? I thought it'd be less than that.
No, 34 minutes. 20 of him as Spider-Man and 10 of him as Peter Parker. So that's a hell of a lot of Spider-Man, you know, considering it's not his movie.
That is. Is it more than Black Panther, do we know? Who is, of course, the other main character that's being introduced.
Yeah. Not sure if it's more than Black Panther. I haven't seen the figures for how long Black Panther's in the movie. I do know he's been really well received. Like, apparently, don't worry, no spoilers, but he balances the kind of being really filled with rage and kicking ass, and also being kind of calm and regal, and, you know, because he is king of Wakanda. Yeah. So
is he king or is he son of the king?
Unclear. I mean, there was a rumor a while back that his dad actually dies in the movie, and so he becomes king.
Which might be the reason for him to go.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, and we saw in the trailer, you know, that shot of him at the UN building, which has been blown up, supposedly, like, Bucky Barnes has done it, or whatever. So maybe his dad dies in that? Possible. Anyway.
Of all the characters, I am most excited about Black Panther. Purely from the first trailer, when we saw him outrun or catch up to a motorbike.
Oh yeah, when he slices the tyres out of the Winter Soldier's motorcycle.
With his hands. Claw hands.
Yeah. The vibranium claws, yeah.
Oh,
yeah that was really cool.
Because they can't call it adamantium.
Because they can't call it... Well, to be fair, vibranium is a thing in the comics.
I know. I know, but it would be much easier just to call it adamantium, as it would to call the mutants as opposed to enhanced.
Enhanced. Yeah, no. Anyway,
That was one of the many things that bugged me about Ultron.
One thing that, like, with Civil War, a character who we've seen 90 minutes of him, obviously, but Ant-Man is really, like, getting a... I mean, like, a couple of reviews have said, like, Ant-Man and Spider-Man basically steal the show, as it were, in terms of, you know, just audience attention.
I'm great with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm up for more Ant-Man.
You and I, of course, saw Ant-Man together. We both really liked it.
Yeah, I actually went on to see it twice more. So, I've seen Ant-Man quite a few times in the cinema, and then I think I've seen it again twice at home on home release. So, yeah. I'm up for more Ant-Man. I think that Paul Rudd is another one of those perfect castings that you get with Marvel. I mean, Chris Pratt, Star-Lord, perfect casting. Paul Rudd, Robert Downey Jr., obviously, and then Chris Evans as Captain America.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah, Vin Diesel.
Damn right.
I am Groot.
And Bradley Cooper. No one talks about how good Bradley Cooper is as Rocket.
Yes, Bradley Cooper is such a good casting for that. I mean, it's great as well, because when I listen to it, I'm not hearing Bradley Cooper, I'm hearing Rocket Raccoon. It's just brilliant. It's exactly the way it should be.
And it's very surprising that such a big star like him would be in a movie where his face is not shown.
Yeah.
And
but
basically
perfect piece of casting.
If no one told me it was Bradley Cooper, I would have had no idea.
He did do some motion capture for Rocket Raccoon, though. For some of the facial expressions.
Oh, yeah. Come on. This is like the Benedict Cumber dragon situation.
Smells. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Have you actually seen the video of Benedict Cumberbatch doing this?
I mean, in fairness, the 90 seconds of that... Oh, no, it's 131 seconds, I counted. It's 131 seconds of him doing that little clip.
Yeah.
Is so much better than the 136 minutes of Hobbit 3. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
The bloating of the 5 pages. What a stupid movie. I can't. Let's not talk about The Hobbit.
Yeah. Anyway, but there is another character who is in this movie. This is really her first introduction, and, you know, we don't have many female superheroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so Scarlet Witch matters. We've seen, like, in the trailer, we got that shot of her, like, destroying Vision with her cool, like, magic, but apart from that, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
The same thing, yeah.
Yeah, but, plus, in the Doctor Strange trailer that we were talking about, we didn't get to see a lot of Scarlet Witch's magic. We didn't get to see a lot of magic in the Doctor Strange trailer. It was kind of mysteriously absent from that.
I think it was purposefully absent so they could save it so it's even more magical, if you'll pardon the pun, in the film.
Yeah. I don't know, I think it's that the CGI is not finished. If I had to guess, it's like, that trailer was... Because they started filming... they've been filming for a while now, and now they're filming on set in London. And I think that, like... What we saw was everything that won't have CGI in it, because a huge amount of the movie must take place in, like, other dimensions. Scott Derrickson said they're going to explore other dimensions, so...
Very cool.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that Scarlet Witch has set the tone, and I really want to see where she takes it in Civil War. Like, I really want to see what she does.
It's a very exciting time. There's two good Marvel movies coming out this year, or two exciting ones.
Yeah. I think we can say Civil War's good now.
I was underwhelmed by Ultron.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, I liked Vision, and I liked Scarlet Witch, but I mean, I think Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were in Age of Ultron for a total of 10 minutes. And I think Marvel have learned from that, and Spider-Man is in Civil War for a full 30 minutes. Like, he is by no means a side character in Civil War. I mean, he is, but he's there in a very real sense. He's on screen. Whereas Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were on screen for like 10 minutes. It's nothing.
But I think the real test of this is if it seems to become an Avengers movie as opposed to a Captain America movie. Because his name is in the title.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Russo brothers have been really careful about that, and a lot of reviews have said, like, this is not Avengers 2.5. I mean, it is, but for the most part, this is a Captain America movie. And, you know, a lot of it is about his struggle with Bucky Barnes and... You know, I mean, it is still a Captain America movie.
Well, if it is half as good as their 2 action specials on Community, I'm going to be very, very happy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's... I've heard that it's as good as The Winter Soldier, and that makes me happy. So, yeah. And I'm going to see a midnight release, which is so exciting. So anyway, I'd love to know, like, how many other people, people listening
are going to
see
and get a midnight release.
Yeah.
And I went to a midnight of Batman v Superman, and I just
bad choice.
I was tired, so I probably enjoyed it more. That's maybe why I gave it a 6.
Yeah. Oh, I was fully awake for that movie, and it's like the biggest regret ever. I should have been completely half dead with exhaustion. If you dragged me in half dead to watch Batman vs Superman, I probably would have liked it too. Anyway.
Maybe it is worth another watch, but in a way that I don't have to give Zack Snyder money.
Quite possible.
Well, I think we've accidentally segued into our next discussion topic. Let's talk quickly about Zack and his fantastical, not so fantastical movies.
Yeah. Well, we've had Man of Steel now. So Zack Snyder's directed... I mean, I think DC have... As background, most people already know this, but DC have brought in Zack Snyder to be the kind of... he's not officially helming the DC Cinematic Universe, but he basically is. He directed Man of Steel, which was meant to kick off the DC Universe and didn't, and he's helming Batman vs Superman. And he's also helming Justice League Part 1 and 2.
Which I hope to God they take away from him and give to... I would take Josh Trank and the madness that was Van Forstic over a Zack Snyder two-part movie.
No, I mean, I feel that, like, Zack Snyder is, for me, the thing that's killing the DC Cinematic Universe. It's him. That solely...
I mean,
like,
in more ways than one,
yeah.
he's literally killing the franchise.
Yeah.
If you get what I'm saying.
To be honest, I actually think that Zack Snyder is killing comic book hero movies. I mean, when you think about how many people must have gone to see Batman vs Superman, and, you know, how many people thought, oh god, these movies are terrible, why are we doing this? I mean...
Now,
and,
here's something that'll make you a bit happy. Okay, so I do not know if this is the statistic for worldwide, but I know for America, the domestic box office, it was very high on the Friday.
Yeah, and then it dropped by 65%?
Really dropped. It's one of the fastest drops they've ever had for a movie. From Friday to Sunday, 2 days, it plummeted.
Yeah, no, it really did.
It only spent 2 weeks on top here in Britain. Zootropolis is ahead of it.
Zootropolis was fantastic. I saw Zootropolis on the day when... Overall. Yeah, no, that doesn't surprise me. But, like, I mean, it's tricky, you know... It's tricky to pinpoint exactly what's wrong with Zack Snyder's movies. I mean, like, it's not lack of money, you know, he had huge amounts of money, and anyway, Deadpool proved that lack of money is by no means an excuse. So...
Can we have a whole podcast about how awesome Deadpool is?
Yes, we can always have it. But everybody is in agreement that Deadpool was awesome.
Yeah.
There is nobody that
Apart
doesn't
from
think Deadpool.
My dad didn't like it.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
He
Weird.
He thought it was too violent.
Well, it's an R-rated movie. Shouldn't have gone in to watch it then. I'm guessing you didn't like Sicario either, but
no, he loves Sicario.
Well, that was really violent.
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, I don't know. I mean, with Zack Snyder, I feel that with Batman vs Superman, I could literally sit here and list... I said to a friend, I got a bet I could list 100 things wrong with Batman vs Superman just really easily, like, without stopping.
The thing that bugged me, and I didn't know how to properly explain it, was the email situation.
Oh yes.
Yes, where it had 3 little trailers within the movie, because that's what it was. And then I'm going to give full credit to Cracked, who did the best piece on all the things that are wrong with the movie.
Yeah.
In the quote, I thought she was with you. Oh, I thought she was with you.
She was with you.
Batman, she's with you. You emailed her.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. It's a great line, but ruined by... Oh, God.
I didn't think it was that great of a line. I mean, like, when you think about the humour that you get in a Marvel movie, that's nowhere near. That's, like... It's terrible.
I agree with you. It is nowhere near Baskin-Robbins Always Finds Out.
Yeah, Baskin-Robbins Always Finds Out. So good. I mean...
That's got into my daily conversation.
Baskin-Robbins Always Finds Out.
Yeah. Did they find out? Baskin-Robbins Always Finds Out.
Anyway, I mean, like, the script... One other thing is that, like, Batman vs Superman crammed in the cameos and the... Like, when you think about Civil War that has tons of characters and it's so many, like, things going on and so many people that it has to, like, flesh out, like, characters it has to flesh out. And then you look at Batman vs Superman, it really shows. You know, Batman vs Superman, you see the Flash in his confusing dream sequence, maybe time travel, maybe, and then you see like Aquaman and Flash like on the computer, and it's just like, I don't know, it just didn't do anything for me at all, and I don't think it did anything for anyone else, to be honest. It felt so forced.
I like that we've accidentally talked about Inception with the dream within a dream thing twice in the same podcast.
Yeah. Anyway, for me that Flash sequence was terrible, and the Flash suit looks awful. I mean, what is it? It looks like he's wearing like 3 red Rice Krispie boxes. Why?
Maybe it's a special time travel suit.
No, the Flash TV show, which is one of the best TV shows on air right now.
Oh wow!
But like the Flash TV show does the suit better. Tell me how that's possible. They have like, if you've seen the Flash and you've seen the CGI in that TV show, then you know that statement is ridiculous. Anyway,
well, it might be a special battle armor. We have no idea what that suit is, especially.
I find I'm fed up of making excuses for DC's movies. You know,
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, you're doing it right now. You're just like, it might be better than we think it is. I'm just like, it never is. Zack Snyder's movies, they make great trailers. Like, the second trailer for Batman vs Superman looked really good.
No, the second trailer for Batman vs Superman was awful.
Really? No, sorry, was it the Comic-Con one that looked really good?
Yeah.
There was one of them yeah, sorry, my bad.
Comic-Con and trailer 3.
Okay, it was the Comic-Con trailer that looked really good for Batman vs Superman. But, like...
And then we saw Doomsday.
Yeah, and Man of Steel's trailer, I seem to remember, was actually pretty good.
Well, that's only good because they use music from Lord of the Rings in it.
Yeah, okay, fine. But the point is, like, it just... Yeah, Zack Snyder doesn't deliver on his movies,
We should keep Snyder on to make the trailers for all the movies.
That is a much better idea. Like, you can actually pay him the same salary, because his trailers are worth it, but nothing else is. Yeah. Anyway,
of his movies, Watchmen, I think is actually very underrated. I think it's really, really good.
I don't know. I mean, like, I enjoyed the 300 as a popcorn flick. Does that count? I mean, you know the worst thing is, DC recently, I wrote an article for the website, but DC recently said that they're keeping on Zack Snyder because he makes crowd-pleasing movies.
No.
If a studio is saying that about your movies, that's them saying your movies are shit. That's what that is. If the studio is saying, oh, Zack Snyder makes, we understand they're not getting the critical reception we want, but Zack Snyder makes a crowd-pleasing movie. That's them saying, we know this guy can't make movies.
I think every statement from DC about Zack Snyder and the future of the franchise should be accompanied by the video of sad Ben Affleck.
The sad Ben Affleck video. Yes! That sad Ben Affleck video was so priceless as well. And I love the one with, like...
It's a combination of 3 of the best things in the world. Ben Affleck being sad, Simon and Garfunkel, The Graduate, and Arrested Development.
And references to the terrible Daredevil movie.
Oh, yes, of course.
Anyway. So, yeah.
Which I'd thankfully forgotten.
Until just now.
For reminding me.
Yeah. Anyway, so we have the. We've talked about DC, but DC recently released another trailer for Suicide Squad. So yeah,
which we are all very excited about.
Yes. Well, medium. We have differing opinions here. So, the Suicide Squad trailer, by the way, is, I think, the 3rd trailer now that's been come out. Or, I mean, basically, if you include the teaser trailer as well. Because it was pretty chunky. The Doctor Strange trailer was meant to be a teaser trailer, and is actually, like, 2 minutes long or something.
This is the second official trailer.
Official trailer, yeah. And I thought the trailer was great. Although, as we know, for DC, that doesn't, that's no guarantee. Good music again.
Very good music.
Yeah, really nice music. Like the first time they had Bohemian Rhapsody, and I'm not sure what they've got this time in this trailer, but again, it's really kind of punchy. I like it.
The song is called Ballroom Blitz. That's the main song. But for me, I liked it because the first song, the one that goes, "You don't own me," that one.
Yeah, that one.
It was used in an ad for the House of Fraser, which is a fashion department store in the UK, for their Christmas advert, and they had a bunch of people dancing around. So I like to picture the cast of Suicide Squad doing a Christmas advert.
Yeah, like all shopping at House of Fraser.
I love it. I think people should go out and make that.
Harley Quinn has to buy her hot pants from somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Her hot pants,
so the music was like perfect. I love. I mean, like the reason. Okay, so about a year ago, I was of the opinion that I was absolutely not going to see Suicide Squad. I saw the teaser footage and I was like, no, I'm never going to see this. Absolutely not. This looks terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, in I think the first official trailer, I saw El Diablo, and El Diablo is like one of my favorite characters from the comics.
This is the
he's the one,
the fire-spitting character.
Exactly, yeah. He's the fire-spitting character. He has loads of tattoos. I love what they're doing with him. Like the actor, I like everything about it. And the thing is that in the comics, his powers can't really translate well because it's fire. I mean, fire is very fluid. It's very moving, and you don't really get that on obviously a still page. And so a movie's perfect for that. So yeah, but I still don't like Harley Quinn, and I still don't like Joker.
Still not a fan of Joker?
No, absolutely not. I know that you're a fan of the Joker.
Well, I'm a fan of Jared Leto. He's one of my favourite people.
Yeah.
Just generally in the world. As a musician and actor, there's very, very few people I idolise more than Jared Leto.
Yeah. To clarify, I'm a massive fan of the Joker. Like, Mr. J is like my favourite character ever. I mean, you know, I'm probably not as big a fan as...
fans of the Joker.
Yeah, I'm probably not as big a fan as Jeremy Jahns. But, you know, I'm like one level below that. So yeah, and I don't know, for me, Jared Leto's Joker just doesn't do it for me. Still. Well, you know, ever since I saw that first photo of him with the tattoos and everything like that, it just didn't click with me.
Well, let's not forget there was a lot of heat on Heath Ledger before that film came out.
Now,
yeah,
true.
I am not saying that Jared Leto is going to win an Oscar for this performance. I'm just saying that a lot can happen over a course of 90 minutes, 2 hours.
Yeah,
and
true.
As the main villain of a movie that's supposed to be a lot of fun.
Is he the main villain? I thought the main villain was Enchantress. I'm pretty sure that the main villain is Enchantress. Played by Cara Delevingne. You see her, she's the one in the crazy kind of get-up with the black clothes and the yellow eyes and everything like that.
And in real life, all you have to think of just like two eyebrows just floating in the air, and that's her.
Yup. I don't know, I'm not sure. We're kind of unclear. I mean, they're certainly putting a lot of Joker in the trailers, but that could just
I've
be...
assumed that he is the target for the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, possible. I mean, the thing is that we got a glimpse in the first official trailer of a lot of it looks like Enchantress's magic. That's what I thought it might be. So yeah, I will say one thing though. I liked Harley Quinn a lot more this time around, in this trailer. Yeah, I mean, I thought that, like, you see a lot more of her being funny, and she's serving drinks in the bar at the end, and everything like that.
Of her, literally.
Yeah, you do see a lot more of her in the literal sense as well. Which, you know, is no bad thing. I mean, you know, Harley Quinn's... I don't know,
She is a bit like that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I mean...
She uses her sexuality as a weapon. Just a thing.
Yeah, it is a thing. I mean, if it was Poison Ivy in her position, I'd be annoyed, because Poison Ivy's more than eye candy. But I think that Harley Quinn is a bit eye candy, and that's kind of what's cool about her. I mean, she's a bit eye candy, a bit kick-ass, and that's a good meld for her.
They've used a combination of the more traditional Harley Quinn and the bombshell Harley. So that's cool.
Yeah. And I think we're going to get a lot more in this movie of, like, her and Joker's kind of abusive relationship, which could either work really well or really badly.
Yeah, it's a very fine line that they're going to...
Yeah, that's touch and go for me, whether that's going to work. I mean, it could be fantastic, and for me it depends on the chemistry that Margot Robbie and Jared Leto actually have.
Well, if he keeps sending her rats, we'll find out.
Yes. And he sent Jared Leto sent the crew, I think, a dead hog or something, or a giant dead hog. Well, that's a celebration. Yup. Not kidding.
Well, I mean, that's in a way it's better than a rat because you can eat a hog.
Maybe. I think it was like old and rotting.
Oh, well,
you don't want to eat that. Yeah, it's gross. And he sent like Will Smith. One thing, I'm not sure that like Will Smith was a right casting for Deadshot. I'm
in agreement there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought the rumours for him to be Captain Boomerang were a bit more interesting.
I feel like with Will Smith, you know, he's kind of just playing Will Smith as Deadshot.
Really is.
Yeah.
He's just Agent J.
Exactly. I mean, there's just nothing... he's not bringing anything new to the character. Like, if you're gonna go all out and cast somebody completely different, like Jared Leto's a pretty outlandish casting for the Joker. I mean, when you look at him on the face of it, or even, I just feel like they could have done better with Will Smith. Like, they kind of just cast him because he's a name. Which, I mean, at one point they were trying to cast Oprah as Amanda Waller.
But the thing is, though, Oprah's. Have you seen The Colour Purple?
No, I mean, I hear she's a good actress.
She's a very, very convincing, and she's very easy to watch.
True, but like, when you're casting Will Smith and Oprah in a movie, that is definitely looking for the names. And Jared Leto, they cast him in the year he won an Oscar, and Margot Robbie in the year she was in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Well, I mean,
they definitely name
Viola
cast this.
Davis is in one of the biggest shows in America right now, How to Get Away with Murder. She was just nominated for an Emmy.
Yes, she was. So, I mean, they're name hunting for Suicide Squad. They were name hunting. So,
well, I think for a project, for a project that is very, very unknown amongst fans, and amongst the casual audience especially.
Yeah, casual audience,
you need to get those names in there to make sure it would sell.
I don't know. I mean, look at Guardians of the Galaxy.
In a way, the ultimate name hunter from that cast is Cara Delevingne.
True. Yes. Actually, yes. But I mean, look at Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy was not name hunted.
Bradley Cooper. Chris Pratt on one of the biggest
sitcoms but all of those guys, like Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel, they weren't on screen.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's different. But their names and they're super famous. Bradley Cooper was in one of the highest grossing movies of all time recently. They're super
famous.
Diesel in the Fast and Furious.
Yeah, Fast and Furious. Yeah, but I mean, like, they weren't,
And Zoe Saldana in another space movie.
Yeah, but to be fair, sci-fi looks after its actors and actresses. If it's sci-fi.
What other things has Zachary Quinto been in?
Zachary Quinto. Sorry. I know him from American Horror Story, which is a bit weird, because he plays a character that's totally different from Spock in the first season of American Horror Story. But yeah. Alright, fair point. Yeah, I suppose he hasn't been in a lot. But, I don't know, it's tricky. I mean, like, just on the trailer, I thought, they did, I think, £90 million worth of reshoots recently.
Really?
Yes, they did. They've done £90 million of reshoots, and the rumour with Suicide Squad, this is for Suicide Squad, is that the reshoots were to add more humour. In the wake of the terrible critical reception of Batman v Superman. Then the director, David Ayer, came out and said, oh, no, these reshoots weren't for humour, that's ridiculous. These reshoots were for more action. So, he completely refuted it and said, no, these reshoots were to add more action, and said, if the studio throws you more money, you don't say no.
Well, that to me sounds like he thinks there's already a lot of humour in there.
Yes.
And for a guy who, within, I think, 20 words of a Comic-Con address, swore at least 4 or 5 times, I think I'm gonna trust David Ayer on this one.
I like it when David Ayer got up on, during Comic-Con, he got up on stage and was like, this is a little something I found on the internet. That was funny. Because of all the leaks that have been going on early in filming. That's just really good.
Yeah.
But, I think that, I'm not sure with Suicide Squad. I'm still not made up. I'm gonna watch the movie because I love what they're doing with El Diablo. I love the casting, I love his character in the comics, and I like it visually on screen. I'm still not convinced with the rest of the cast. Especially Captain Boomerang, being played by Jai Courtney. Yeah.
But, we've said before, we are both not fans of Jai Courtney. I don't think anyone
absolutely
is. He does have... No. Him and Donald Gleason have the best agents in Hollywood. But... he looks very interesting.
What, in this?
He seems to be having a lot of fun.
Yeah, he does seem to be having a lot of fun.
And maybe that's what he needs. Maybe he needs to stop being in the stupid YA films.
Yes.
And Terminator films.
Oh god, don't mention it.
I think the only person to survive of that movie, apart from him, is of course Emilia Clarke.
I don't know if she came out unscathed from that. I mean,
I'll tell you what, in a week's time, everyone would have forgotten about that movie. Everyone would have forgotten she was in it. Because
it's
Khaleesi
difficult.
Is returning to our screens.
Yeah, but I mean, it's difficult for her because that was her big on-screen break. A lot of the Game of Thrones actors. I mean, recently, Pedro Pascal, who had the amazing performance as Prince Oberyn in, I think it was season 5? Season 4.
Yes.
Season 4.
He's
been cast as he's been cast in the new Kingsman movie, Kingsman 2.
Great.
So Kingsman: The Golden Circle. That's it.
Someone else was just cast in that.
Not sure. I haven't heard about it.
Another big name. I want someone like Channing Tatum. Someone like that.
Yeah. Not sure. I haven't. Wow. You've got me out movie news stumped, man.
There was
know.
definitely a casting, and it wasn't Pascal for that movie.
But I mean, I think it's hard for the Game of Thrones actors to break out. I mean, obviously, Peter Dinklage was amazing in X-Men: Days of Future Past, but then
the little that he was in,
haha. But
no,
then
that wasn't a pun. He generally wasn't in that much.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. He was in a reasonable amount. He was in a reasonable, but I felt that
they still made Mystique the main character.
Yeah, that was a mistake in my opinion. I don't like J-Lo.
It was a mistake.
I really don't like her.
It was a mistake.
Oh, it was a Mystique. Oh, I was waiting for something else to come after that.
Sorry,
anyway.
It's just terrible Sunday night humour.
Yeah.
We're recording this on Sunday whenever this goes
we're recording
out.
on
so
Sunday.
If something's happened between Sunday and whenever this has gone out, that's why we haven't talked about it.
Yes. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Mystique in the X-Men movies. I like Mystique, but I don't like J-Law as Mystique. If that's, yeah.
She hasn't been in a good movie in a while.
Really? The last good... I mean, she was in Joy, wasn't she,
Joy.
Recently? Yeah. I mean, Joy got, like, a mixed reception.
Yeah, she got... I did a whole article about the Academy Awards, and I said that she got nominated out of habit.
Yeah,
and
I
maintain this. I still think Alicia Vikander should have been nominated in the Best Actress category.
Was Charlize Theron nominated for Best Supporting Actress?
For...
Mad Max.
No.
Really? Well, that's a fucking mistake. I seem to remember she wasn't, but then I couldn't, like... But yeah, I still think it's scandalous that Mad Max didn't... that George Miller didn't get Best Director for Mad Max. That was an outrage.
Yep.
Complete, like, he deserved it. There was nobody else there more deserving than him.
Yeah, and they all said it.
Yeah.
It's like everyone on the red carpet was saying this is Leo's year. Everyone on the red carpet was saying this is George Miller's.
I don't know. I feel that, like...
Of course, Iñárritu didn't say that.
Yeah, no, he didn't say that. But, I don't know. I thought that George Miller was robbed of Best Director for Mad Max. Mad Max was perfect.
Yeah, we all agree with that.
Anyway, so yeah, there's one other thing that's come out very quickly, which is Guardians of the Galaxy 3 has been confirmed by Kevin Feige, and he's been talking quite a lot about Phase 4 recently. So Phase 4 is the phase of Marvel movies that will happen after Infinity Wars. And yeah, he's been talking quite a lot about that. I hear that, you know, he's kind of treating everything that's happened before Infinity Wars as like a start. You know, a starting point. And that after Infinity Wars it's going to get much more intense.
I sort of want it to finish with the Infinity Wars.
Really?
A part of
Why?
me... Well, we're talking about superhero fatigue.
Yeah.
Soon we're going to be having... Because of the success of Deadpool... Fox are gonna get more money. They're gonna make more films. Yeah,
they're making a Deadpool 2. That's been confirmed.
I mean, that's okay, but they're going to search for more. They're gonna go through the Marvel canon. They're gonna get characters. They're gonna go through the DC canon. They're gonna go outside of that and make some graphic novel movies. They're going to do something. DC are obviously going to make more movies because they have the money to.
Yeah, obviously.
And we'll keep getting
And they've
money.
announced them, so they can't really go back and say, actually, no, we're not going to do these movies. So,
well, I mean, they could.
Well, they could, but they're not going to. That would be losing face in a major way.
And the same with Marvel. They have films officially announced until, I believe, the early 2020s, where, of course, unofficially, I reckon that list goes to 2030.
I think we only have 2 Marvel movies scheduled after 2020. Like, officially scheduled, but they're all...
Inhumans? Are they?
Oh, we've got Inhumans scheduled, but the untitled ones, I think we've got 2... We have 2 untitled... We have 2 untitled movies coming out after Infinity Wars.
I would like to apologise for the coughing you hear in the background. This is an inconsiderate friend of ours knowing that we are recording a podcast.
Oh, that's not fair. Everyone needs to cough. Anyway, so yeah. But, They've got two unnamed movies. At one point we thought it was Ant-Man, but now they've announced Ant-Man and Wasp movie, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah,
but
I'm up for that.
I think that what they're going to do is they're going to have a face-off, and it'll be Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, and Black Panther, and whichever ones earn the most money will get the next franchise, because Thor is a dying franchise in the eyes of Marvel.
Yeah, probably.
No, I definitely think that whichever one of those earns money, like, we'll get a Doctor Strange 2, or Captain Marvel 2, or Black Panther 2, and that will be...
I mean, they had to have Thor because they needed the Tesseract, because they needed the Infinity Stone.
Yeah, and now they have to finish it off because it's a trilogy. It would look weird to only have 2 movies.
No, you can do things with 2 movies.
And there was the setup in Avengers: Age of Ultron, and I think it would have been too difficult to pull that movie.
But anyway, that is a very personal opinion, because I just want, different types of movies to come out all the time. Yeah.
No, I'd agree with that. I mean, I really like what they're doing, where they're having an Ant-Man movie, then a Doctor Strange movie, then a Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Spider-Man... Oh, Spider-Man Homecoming. Did you hear about that?
Yes, of course, we haven't talked about
that. Yes, Spider-Man Homecoming has been officially announced. 2 extra pieces of casting. They casted 2 classmates of Peter Parker's. Mm-hmm. I think. I haven't double-checked this, because this is just like me and my friends, chatting to each other, but I think they've got 2 extra pieces of casting. Both classmates. One of them might be Peter Parker's bully, and the other, but basically the big news is it's Spider-Man Homecoming. That's the name of it, which I think is kind of cheeky.
Well, because something's going to happen at the Homecoming dance.
No, because it's Spider-Man Homecoming. It's the first one with Marvel. He's back at Marvel now, as it were.
Well, it's still being made. Isn't it still being made at Sony?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. They basically the deal
is it
with
being made
Sony
at Marvel but distributed by Sony?
That's what I think. It's not being made at Marvel per se, but Kevin Feige is producing and has a lot of... I mean, we're gonna have an Avengers crossover, and I think there's just basically a lot more collaboration between Marvel and Sony over this movie. And Marvel do actually get a bit of creative control back over the character.
Damn right.
Yeah. No, completely. I mean, when you look at what they've done in Civil War, I think that will calm Sony down, and they'll be like, okay, maybe Marvel can make this work, which I think is ridiculous, because Sony have been butchering the franchise for ages.
Yeah, well, I think also Homecoming is the name of a run of comics in the canon. I could be wrong. I'm prepared to be wrong. I'm not a big comic reader, as some people may know.
Yes, as we know.
But no, it's very exciting to see more Spider-Man movies, because before 2008, he was the Marvel superhero.
Yeah, no, he was. He was one of the first ones that started
him and
being
Wolverine.
Good. Yeah, Wolverine. Yeah.
They were guys before.
It was
the MCU
X1,
started.
X1, X2, Spider-Man 1, and maybe 2.
And X-Men Origins.
X-Men Origins was not good.
They got the science right. They got the science right.
What do you mean?
Well, do you know the game theorists and movie theorists?
No.
Okay, it's a YouTube channel. They're great fun. They ask really convoluted questions, and they go into the deep science of stuff like, would Ant-Man actually be able to survive, and how he's actually the most dangerous villain, most dangerous Marvel hero. But
oh yeah, you could Ant-Man could go up your nose and then destroy your brain from the inside.
Even to a bigger point, where he, because of his actual mass, stays relevant when he goes small. When he goes supersonic, it gets really tough, and he becomes more dangerous than an atom bomb.
Oh man, I have to watch this.
I mean, the science holds up, and they're really good fun. But yeah. So there's a whole thing about the same thing with Deadpool, is that if you crush him down, and he just comes back as normal.
Yeah.
That doesn't actually work out scientifically, because if you crush him down, the brain gets destroyed.
Yeah.
And your brain cells grow back, but your memories don't. Memories are not a thing that are sewn into your
But that still doesn't explain why the claws looked so fake.
That does not explain why the claws look fake, but it does explain the end of the movie where Stryker... Is it Stryker?
Yeah, Stryker.
Stryker shoots him, and he forgets
everything, yeah.
That's the only,
I don't know, I kind of like that
thing about Origins that I actually go, that's cool. That's cool, and that's correct, and I applaud them. Yeah. The rest of the movie, terrible.
Fair enough. Well, I think we've talked about pretty much everything now. I mean, in fact, even extra about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Well, I think we should finish on a one-word answer from both of us, or a very quick answer. Alice, what is the movie that you are most excited for before December comes out? Go.
Before this December. Doctor Strange.
For me, it's Rogue One. You have been listening to TiC United, the first of many podcasts from these here shores in the United Kingdom. Check out all the other podcasts we have on the InnerCircleGamingNetwork.com, and for more information, go to our website at ticgn.com. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.